leaves Gragas and Lucian open for LIYAB Esports to pick up. Very flexible Gragas if they want to go for it. But we know LIYAB Esports, they have brought in some cheese picks in the past. And I think Garen could be locked in for their team, removing it away from BREN Esports and picking out top for themselves.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. Will you pick another duelist as well as to get that 1v1 matchup, or you pick up a neutralizer? And the Garen is one of the neutralizers at top side if you're up against a Renekton. Xin Zhao, though, I'm pretty sure that's going to be towards Rabenga. We talked about the Lucian sort of being fallen. I believe it was Leoric that talked about this yesterday. A little bit not as prioritized as much in the draft. But look at that. This could be a Kha'Zix pickup from Miggy. This is... Yeah, potentially, because you brought this up, Infinity. Gragas is open. LIYAB loves their Gragas because they can flex it in anywhere from 4 different lanes. But this is Miggy on the Kha'Zix.
But they're not opting to go for the Gragas, instead locking into Kha'Zix and Varus. They're bringing in back the Varus here for LIYAB Esports. BREN Esports has the option to take it for themselves, put it in support or mid lane, or if not, just put Lucian mid lane and have other champions go into the bot lane. But with Katarina now hovered in for the side of BREN Esports, Braum is available as well for their team. If they want to do it, it's going to be a Braum Lucian that's really strong bot lane, but instead hovering onto the Janna to then go for the Nami locked in. Very aggressive level 1.
Exactly. This is a strong lane right now. We're seeing it from BREN. We talked about this before. The Staff of Flowing Water really synergizes well with a Nami, and as well as if you're paired with a Lucian. So that is going to be an easy... ability haste for the spammability of skills for Consi, and Elion over on the Varus. So a ton of pokes from the Ziggs and as well as this Varus pickup, and you get the Braum as well for that disengage in case things get a little bit too dicey when BREN goes all in, because this is very scary. They have a Renekton, they have a Xin Zhao. These are basically picks that are going to be upfront and personal, up close and personal rather. And Twisted Fate is just going to enable all that and possibly unlock the lanes. Come level 5, expect a gank at top side, open up the lane, possibly give early kills to Jeff possibly, or maybe even to Rabenga.
Right, and I think this will be sort of the facing game for this specific game number 1 for both BREN Esports and LIYAB Esports. Because Xin Zhao is a level 3 power spike champion that can really wreak havoc at level 3 in the first minute and a half. And I think BREN Esports wants to utilize that on Rabenga being so dominant and hyper-aggressive in the early game. And LIYAB Esports is back into the poking composition, wherein they have Nixu on the Ziggs, Elion onto the Varus, and I think this too, when it comes to later on, in terms of the objective game and later team fights, this can deal so much against BREN Esports to get them the HP advantage.
Exactly. Imagine Dragon fights, Rift Herald fights will be a whole lot painful for BREN, especially when we look maybe 3 items on the board, 2 items actually, maybe Nixu, second item Rabadons, I think would be sufficient to inflict pain on BREN on these Dragon and objective dances in general. I think the biggest problem is there is that tidal wave from MGen that would basically stop any of the poking for a little bit of that time. So there is a window that BREN can jump on the LIYAB.
Right, and I love how you mentioned about the Nami with the tidal wave, because that can reach onto the backside where LIYAB Esports is trying to be safe. But on top of all that, we have to look at Braum as well, onto Marina Boy, because it can cancel out the tidal wave from Nami. And we saw this in the past, these type of counters coming from LIYAB Esports to deal with this sort of hard engaged champion by the side of BREN Esports. So I'm expecting later on for Morida Boy to have the exact timing onto those shields to remove the tidal wave, let Varus and Ziggs have free time in the backlines.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty huge exchange. A normal ability versus an ult. We'll have to see if the unbreakable timings are going to be on point. But looking at the map right now, BREN is able to secure that Rift Scuttler already. At least even a double Scuttler start, perhaps, as we're looking at Jeff already starting, actually just zoning the first one, actually taking it already. So this is a very good start in terms of control over the Riverside for BREN.
And the reason why they took it, because they have the information that Kha'Zix was on the bottom side. Go in to the right side quadrant jungle for the side of the esports. So BREN just had that free go into the top side river, get the risk cutter for their team. And that is just the importance of information at this stage of the game, especially in mid-game, late game. And if you're looking at the map, the BREN Esports has all of it. if you're looking at the riverside, you have a ward there into the pitch against LIYAB Esports in bottom side of the map. You have another one into the bush and also another one near the mid lane, and there was cutter onto the top side riverbed for the side of BREN Esports. So when it comes to the information game, BREN Esports has the advantage at the moment. The question is, can they sustain it later on to the mid-game late game?
Yeah, that is definitely the biggest question, and we might put that to a test right now. It might be a 2v2, actually a 3v2, because level 5 already has arrived. Hayes actually manually walking up top side. Again, it's so difficult to be a Twisted Fate if you're up against the Ziggs, because if you use that Destiny and that is put to waste, you don't get anything out of that, you will lose a plate or even two if the Ziggs stays in the lane and it's gonna most likely punish you.
Yeah, and a third overall if you overstay in those team fights, because you don't have any more chance to really just go in instantly into the mid lane. You have to walk the traditional way of going into a lane. Right, so I think that is what Hayes needs to think about. When you're going all in, you have to secure the kill, especially if you're going to waze onto those summoner spells and the ultimates available for your team. But rather, I think they're not going for that. BREN Esports is going for the safe play at level 3. Rebenga doesn't want to go for the early engage because he understands. You have Morita Boy onto the Braum, very, very strong early game, even at level 1 because of the passive available onto these champions.
Yeah, it's absolutely difficult and risky, especially I suppose their wards are starting to expire. I mean, there is still a deep vision over there at the blue buff of LIYAB, so this gives them information whether or not they want to overextend or lay low for a little bit. Meanwhile, I believe Dawn is going to be fine. I want to touch upon the first item pickup of MJOT, the Twin Shadows, right away. First item pickup, which means they're really focused on targeting Miggy, making sure that even though he goes invisible and would reposition, he is still going to get tracked by the spooky ghost coming from MJOT later on.
Plus, in a team fight, if ever it's not used, you can use the Twin Shadows to actually put out CC against the enemy team onto the form of a slow. So I think that's really huge of a pickup for MJOT to get those securities onto CCs and also onto Miggy, as you stated. Now it's going to be Hayes, though. Going for the Destiny, gives off information. The LIYAB Esports doesn't really want to go for the contest. And now, BREN Esports got the Rift Herald.
Yeah, this is full control by BREN here. No contest whatsoever. Still no opportunity. Again, we're looking at Elion here and Nixu. These are picks that still require a lot of, well, not a lot of items, but perhaps 2 to 3 items to be effective and to be more comfortable in these fights. So it's a little bit difficult for them to contest objectives. We'll see though if LIYAB is able to get a pick at least. Maybe an assassination attempt coming from Miggy. Maybe someone who will get, you will not be in the best position. But so far though, look at BREN. They're now starting this dragon.
Yeah, and they're starting it very dominantly as Miggy is now going to be sighted by the Twin Shadows. Have Miggy going for some pokes. Tidal Wave now be casted here. Morita Boy will come through and it'll come into the fray. But BREN Esports will go for the Cloud Dragon, will secure it down for themselves as LIYAB Esports is now countering down back away because BREN Esports is going for the 5v5. Hayes goes for the golden card onto Ziggs with a huge response from MJOT as well, going for the bubble trap. And that will be a knock-up down. No first blood as of yet, but BREN will get the objective that they were looking for.
Yeah, this is a lot won by BREN. First Rift Herald, they can choose to open up the map a little bit more for themselves in preparation to equalize later on, especially Nixu's on this Ziggs.
They want to go for it. Rebenga is going for the defense. That's going to be the flash knock-up onto Miggy. He's low HP. Hayes went in for the golden card, not going for the buy. 6 attack. Now cowering away. He's going for the retreat as LIYAB Esports will not take any turrets, but will take a turret plate instead.
Yeah, this is a slow burn on the towers, I suppose. There is one turret plate apiece from bottom lane to top lane. So this is a mini consolation prize, I suppose, from LIYAB because they gotta at least squeeze a little bit of leg room in this game because BREN has been taking all the objectives so far in the 6-minute mark, the 7-minute mark. But in their attempt, look at LIYAB, they've planted 2 deep vision in the jungle of BREN, so that information will help them if either they want to keep pushing the mid lane, or if ever Miggy can attempt an assassination for isolated targets.
Well, they don't have any information into the top river. Now it's going to be Jet coming in. That's going to be stunned onto Miggy as Miggy will jump back away into the riverbed. He's going to be safe, but no turret will be taken down by LIYAB Esports.
They're whittling it down. I think that's almost 2 plates already. Just a couple of auto attacks.
Destiny, that's gonna be the TP onto the bot side of the map. Elyon gonna be cowering away. That's gonna be the first blood going to the side of BREN Esports. And Marina Boy trying to go back as well. He's running away. He's walking away. He's gonna walk away with 1 HP. And BREN Esports not gonna take it down, but at the end, they're gonna take the tower for his blood as well. But top side's gonna be Jet taking down. That's gonna be stunned down. And Don, half HP. We have MJan going for the damage output. Huge potential. As Don will be safe, but he will be forced to go for the recall. If he stays, that's going to be huge potential for BREN Esports now to jump in under the turret to get the kill. And Jet just responded very quickly. And Mariah Boy is late to the party.
He walks into the Aqua Prison. MJan, what is that bubble? That is... Don, unfortunately, stepped on the trap there, and... at the moment, BREN has been taking everything. They're able to eliminate Elyon from earlier, and now they're able to scare Dawn, basically denying another turret take away from LIYAB. And this is looking to be, you know, LIYAB being a little bit starved here. Again, they still have Elyon and Nixu anyways, even though Miggy hasn't exactly been getting these early kills. Ludenseko already picked up by Nixu. Of course, Manemune will still be fully stacked on that Muramana. So, again, both of these picks so far will not be as effective. We're still looking at 2 items for both of these picks, these poke champions. So, BREN, this is a big window for them to keep pushing with their lead.
Right. And I think they want to go for it. But Jet is now going to go for the face check onto Dawn. They both lane swap. BREN Esports went in for the duo top. LIYAB Esports reacted quickly onto that as well, with Elyon now going in mid and Ziggs coming up on top. Means that they really want to give gold onto Elyon because of how much delay he has into the bot lane a while ago. Now Jet is just here stealthily sneaking against LIYAB Esports, but huge respects because LIYAB went for the 4-man mid lane and BREN Esports has the information. Miggy now has the site there with a ward there. That's gonna be the justice served by LIYAB Esports, getting their first kill off this game. I want to go for more pressure into the mid lane. Infernal Drake gonna be alive much soon. 5 seconds up with Rift Herald still pushing top.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was I guess a greedy ward, I suppose. But LIYAB is able to get that, you know, numbers advantage. Now they're chiming in over this Infernal Drake. BREN, though, lingering around the corner.
But they're not going for the contest here because they have the information that Remenga's still alive, still has his smite up. They have the gold lead, the 4K gold, and now we're looking at top lane. It's gonna be a 1v1. Dawn versus Haze, zoning him away. Rift Herald is pushing into the inhibitor turret, but mid lane it's gonna be a different story. Braum went in for the Glacial Fissure, knock up onto Rebenga. Rebenga is half HP. That's gonna be potentially the first start for the LIYAB Esports as well. Make it second one, as they have already taken the top lane a while ago. This will be the 3-4-2 turrets taken for both sides.
The value of the Rift Herald, though, I think that was, what, 3 charges? Was able to remove the second tier tower and then 1 charge over to the top side inhibitor tower as well. This is good value. BREN means that, okay, you take MJan, we take your tower, and now they're starting this Rift Herald, or rather the dragon. It's so fast.
Destiny had the information. LIYAB Esports still gonna go for the contest though. BREN Esports now will take it down for the Infernal Drake. And they will go for the retreat. They don't want to fight on a 5v5. And I think this is the basis of having so much single targeted CCs, but none when it comes to AoE. Only Tidal Wave.
Yeah, only Tidal Wave, but it is enough for LIYAB to respect narrow spaces when they attempt to go near that dragon. Now that's 2 dragon apiece already. We get to see Sterak's completed Triforce already for Rebenga. So he can survive a little bit more in the fights once he go in. And Essence Reaver and Bork already completed for Consi is definitely going to hurt a little bit more in the fights. And now we're looking at, once again, 2 items. More mana, already fully stacked for Elyon, so that's a really good spike. Still no Rabadons just yet for Nixu. They really haven't exactly found the opportunities just yet. But something to note when it comes to LIYAB games, so far, especially from yesterday, we are going to be expecting low kill count games for tonight, especially what we saw from, again, the day 1 of our week 3.
Yeah, they want to play very safe, so that is the reason why we have so much lower kill count for these two teams right now, because they want to prioritize onto the objectives. Now BREN Esports is jumping on top side of the map.
Oh,
That's going to be
no!
Jet coming in. That's going to be Stun not connecting. LIYAB Esports went in for the Glacial Fisher, but too much damage coming from BREN Esports. Puts down one. Elion's going to be away, and that's going to be the ADC. Killed by BREN Esports. This is going to be numbers advantage for BREN as well into the later fight, if ever it occurs.
Yeah, they might even pursue... the thing about pursuing the Baron is it's so hard if the Ziggs is alive. They have to make sure that Nixu is low. They have to make sure that there's vision down over outside the pit. But then again, this is a time where the death timers are relatively low, so Elion will be back up for 4 seconds. But as we can see, the chain of corruptions is so crucial to these fights. And on paper, it's air quote easy because BREN's composition is very straightforward. They basically go at you straight. So the chain of corruptions will be very important later on to deny and punish BREN, especially when they go for these aggressive plays inside the jungle of LIYAB. There are wards laid down already on the red side jungle of LIYAB at the moment. So we'll have to see what the next move is going to be, especially Destiny is up. That's going to be another window of opportunity where BREN can take another pick off of LIYAB's, one of their members.
And I think that's the reason why he was split pushing bot lane. Because if ever a danger occurs, if ever everyone comes bot lane suddenly, out of a miracle, out of the open, he can use a Destiny to go back away into the mid lane potentially, or even go back with the Destiny and get information for BREN Esports. And even if LIYAB Esports go for the 4-man roam into the bot side, BREN Esports can then start onto the Baron. So I think it's really just a well-thought plan by BREN Esports coming into that. But they have not planned this. Ziggs damage is too much. And Lucian will be forced back away. Rebenga will do as well. LIYAB Esports will try to punish them. But look at Jet. Now split pushing top lane. That's going to be Proto Belt back away. And LIYAB Esports going to go back as well.
Yeah, that is something that they cannot do. They cannot do a mini ARAM, in the middle, because Nixu is there to rain bombs on you. He's porting back on the ward!
Oh, the ward gave him information, and Jet, he needs to go back away. That's going to be the ultimate cast it down, because he needs all the sustainability that he can.
This chase?
Elion will be there. That's going to be the 4v1. He will go down. Jet will be erased and deleted by the Esports, and now it's a 4-2 when it comes to kill standing.
That was unfortunate for Jet. You just wanted to go home, but I guess the plan in mind was to set up a flank, most likely. That is why he ported there instead of porting back in a faraway place. He was prepared to port, and then if there's a flank being set up, an attack from BREN. Anyway, though, Dragon has been started by LIYAB right now. They're still incomplete. BREN is still incomplete.
And Benga wants to go for the contest. Glacial Fisher will knock him off, so LIYAB Esports has the advantage. TPs are not coming in. That's going to be Mickey trying to go into the front lines. Don will be there as well. Go for the silence onto one. That's going to be justice served as Conti will die. And this is going to be the 5v4. TPs are not coming up. Jet will come into the fight. LIYAB Esports respect this, and they will fall back.
They've decided, okay, it's Jet already alive.
Not going to be enough, though. LIYAB Esports wants to go for more kills, but just a little bit of a trade. LIYAB doesn't want to go for all-in fights, and BREN will retreat as well.
Nixu doesn't have mana. A little bit worrisome here. He has to make sure there's a Destiny being popped.
Yeah, that gives information for BREN Esports. That's going to be golden card. Try to go for the basic attack onto Dawn. Not going to connect through. But that will be the root. Chain of Corruption will put Twisted Fate onto a single position. But no follow-up will get them the kill. Elyon will die though because of Jet coming through into the flank, getting the kill down. And Dawn is just too overextending against BREN Esports. And Jet gets the double kill. That was the 1-for-2 in favor for BREN Esports.
And the dragon still stands. No one still gets this dragon. LIYAB has to back away because every single time they want to fight, they always have to think of the building minions at top side. And now this is going to be a secure for BREN. That's 3 dragons on the board, all the objectives on BREN's side. And LIYAB is struggling in this game, especially, again, I have to reiterate this. Top side, minions always building. They can't overextend or else a Destiny can be activated. If they lose a fight, Hazel Destiny, go push top. It could potentially be game over.
Yeah, the lane control is just too much. And look at the wave top lane. It's pushing constantly, as you stated a while ago. And the turret HP of the top side is too low to really just give you sort of the capacity to let the minion waves flow through. It's just too much. And I think LIYAB Esports needs to be wary of this. Now let's move on to another, because BREN Nasher is alive and BREN Esports is hovering onto this. If ever they take the BREN Nasher, I assume it's going to be over, because they already have 3 dragons in their favor. And Sinjao Rabenga is just a champion or a player that's just hyper aggressive into the team fight. If he has his ultimate up, that can be countering onto Nixu, onto Ziggs, onto his projectile, and Leon as well, as Ranga has its sight onto Migi. That's so much damage as Migi jumps out the way.
He's gonna be fine for now. Dawn doesn't have teleport up, I assume, but he is gonna be split pushing over here. He did just use it. Look at that, they're starting Baron.
It's a 5v4 though. Destiny will give information. The LIYAB Esports is on to the bottom side of the map. That's gonna be done. Trying to go back away. Lucian goes in for so much damage. And that will be the kill coming in. Leon will fall back. Double kill for Lucian. Making one more triple. He wants to go for more. He goes into the backside. That's gonna be dash away. Don goes for the silence. Clever move from him, but 5 men alive for BREN Esports.
What a fight for BREN. They knew that Dawn had to manually walk from the bottom portion of the map and then go to join the rest of LIYAB. And that was a 4v5 situation that LIYAB was definitely not ready for. Again, when they have the Ziggs, it's so good to rain down bombs from behind the pit. But unfortunately, BREN knew this. They decided to just bring and take the fight to them.
I mean, they have the advantage, right? What? That was like, from a blink of an eye, he was gone. And Nixu is gone for 45 seconds. Probably one of the clear wave potential champions for LIYAB Esports. Consi, too much damage. That raw potential against LIYAB Esports. Now Twin Shadows to just slow them down. Inhibitor turret will be secured by BREN Esports though. They're going for the top lane. This might potentially be 2 inhibitor turrets down for LIYAB Esports. That's gonna be bubble trouble coming in. Nami going in for the bubble trap onto Dawn. Still, they're going for a cautious play for BREN Esports. Not gonna take it down too soon. Jet is split pushing bot lane. Gonna get that tier 2 turret. Now inhibitor turret's gonna be open for top lane. LIYAB Esports gonna fight this down. Chain of corruption will connect onto one. Glacial Fissure to follow through. That's gonna be justice onto Nami, but Jet will finish this game and BREN Esports will take the advantage in the series.